Hello. Welcome back. It has been a few weeks since I last did a video. Time is counting down, but basically these videos I'm going to be reviewing every Royal Rumble. We're currently on the 17th, and when I'm recording this, I've gone through one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I've gone through 8 Royal Rumbles. Got about 29 to go. So yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a time crunch before the 2025 Royal Rumble. Basically, I'm gonna watch them all, rate them all, just for a bit of fun. As I said, yeah, I've just finished the 1995 Royal Rumble, which was okay, but we will get to that one. And first, I'm starting from the 1988 Royal Rumble. It has been. I did start this about a week or so ago, so some of it's not fresh in my memory. So I've got the Wikipedia page up just to jog my memory a bit. But yeah, the 1988 Royal Rumble. Well, first we'll start with the Royal Rumble itself. It was an invention by Pat Patterson. Vince wasn't on board. They did it at a house show. I think they did 12 people and it didn't do very well. But then, sorry, 1 second. There was an executive producer called Dick Ebersol who worked with Vince on the Saturday night main event shows. He was in charge of producing the special, and he basically convinced Vince that it was a good idea. The first one was in 1987, and as I said, it didn't do very well. But then we got to 1988, and this one did a bit better. And then obviously, looking back, it was a good idea that he kept it, because it's been a tradition for it was 1988, the first one, really. So 36 years running now. So yeah, but that's a tiny bit of the history. The first one, as I said, was 12 men. They did up it to 20, and then obviously upped it to 30, like as we know today. But yeah, basically, this is just going to be probably a quick 5-10 minute video for each Rumble, and yeah, just having a bit of fun with this. So we start off with 1988. Opening match: Ricky Steamboat and Rick Rude. Now, didn't expect it to start out this hot, but superb match. I think, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was superb. It was a superb match. It was really disappointing though, because it ends in a disqualification, because Rick Rude pulls the ref in front of Steamboat, and then it just all devolves into a disqualification, which was really, really disappointing, because it was such a superb match. Like, they're both excellent athletes, and like Rick Rude, like, he just looks like a god, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He looks like, it was weird. He was never WWE champion. He would have been a fantastic heel champion. He had the looks, he had the body, he had the attitude, and he would have been a superb choice. But obviously Vince, at this point, that point in time where he was at his hottest, you had Hulk Hogan, and you weren't going to bump Hulk Hogan at this point, was you? But yeah, fantastic match. Yeah, I've given it a 7 out of 10. I've got all my matches here written down and marked off. And then we jump into the next match, which is the Jumping Bomb Angels versus the Glamour Girls. And this is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the women's tag team championship. Yeah, they had a women's tag team championship. The champions are the Glamour Girls. The Jumping Bomb Angels end up winning it 2-1, and this I've given an 8 out of 10. Like, this showed how capable women were of wrestling when they were you just took the chains off them and let them go. It shocked me a bit watching it how good the match was, because I didn't think they would give this much opportunity and this much time to women. I mean, it goes 15 minutes, and why they let the women go 15 minutes, I don't know, because at that point in time, women's wrestling was kind of like they'd throw maybe one match on a card every so often. And obviously, as we progressed into the 90s, it died. You kind of had Medusa. I'm not really sure who was in. WCW did it a lot better, I will say, like in the 90s. They gave the women a lot more time, a lot more matches. But then, like, with the WWF at the time, they had, like, I think at one point the only two women they had were Sable and Sunny, and that was it. And those were your two women. And then they brought in, like, Jacqueline, and Jacqueline was a lot more capable, but they just did nothing with her. And then obviously later on you have, like, you had Deborah come in, Stephanie McMahon. And then the kind of 2000s, it did take a bit of an upturn, because obviously you had, like, Lita, Trish, and then later on you had, like, Beth Phoenix and Victoria and Mickie James and that, and they did give it a bit more time. But at this point in time, I don't think women's wrestling was really that important, because I think the women's tag team championship they got dissolved at some point, and even the women's title disappeared for ages. But it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. These first two matches, they've probably been the best two matches I've seen on my Royal Rumble run so far. I'll definitely go back and watch them both because they're superb. And then third match on the card, we had the Royal Rumble. Obviously now it is more the main event, although there has been one or two occasions where it hasn't been. I would say the only time it should go second on the card is if you've got a really hot angle for your world title. But obviously, at this point, it was just, I think Hulk Hogan was the champ. And Hulk Hogan didn't work this card. There is a point where you will see where, like, Hulk Hogan started to take the Royal Rumble seriously, because he weren't in this one. But yeah, just looking at the entrance, I mean, you had Bret before he was, like, Bret the Hitman Hart, Tito Santana, Jim Neidhart, Jake the Snake, Nikolai Volkov maybe, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, Hillbilly Jim. The Ultimate Warrior did make an appearance. One Man Gang, it wasn't star-studded. They didn't have their top talent. They had kind of people that were like mid-card at most at the time. The overall winner, if you know your Royal Rumbles, the first Royal Rumble winner was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He eliminated One Man Gang. There was no, if you win this you get a title shot. There was none of that at this point. It was literally just, you just say you won the Royal Rumble. One thing that I do want to point out from this time period is they tend to have in little snippets interviews with the wrestlers, and they're going, oh yeah, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble's mine. I really want to win this. I'm going to eliminate all the other competitors and I'm going to win it. Even though you had nothing, essentially, you had nothing to fight for. But I wish they did that nowadays. You know, just throughout the pay-per-view, just have people that are in the Rumble and just be like, yeah, I'm going to eliminate 29 other people. I'm going to get the title shot. I'm going to go to Mania. 'Cause I don't know why they stopped doing it. Because it hypes the Rumble up a bit more. But they just stopped doing it, which was really weird. But yeah, the winner of that is Hacksaw. Gave it a 6 out of 10. Another thing I do need to point out is they did have on this card, they did have the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant contract signing for, I think it was Saturday night's main event. It was kind of the next big title shot. So Hogan and Andre do make an appearance, but it's just for a contract signing, and then Andre flips the table. It's kind of building up, basically. Andre the Giant, he's going to win the title, and then Ted DiBiase is going to buy the title off him, which I think does end up happening, but then they vacate it because I think they don't recognise him handing the title over, and there's all the Hebner brothers shenanigans. All that happens, and then I think Macho Man ends up the champ at some point. I think it might be then, because I don't think Hulk Hogan gets it back right away. And then you got the whole Mega Powers thing. But yeah, that's a Royal Rumble. It was alright for a first one, a bit average. And then you've got the Islanders versus the Young Stallions. Now, this one, I think, I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was rubbish. The Islanders end up winning. It's another 2 out of 3 falls match. They were obsessed with them for some reason. I think one of them, I think it's Paul Roma. He injures his leg. He gets counted out. And then they go off. And then there's this massive gap in the middle of it between the first fall and the second fall. There's just a massive gap because Paul Roma's injured. And then he comes back, and it's just inevitable that the Islanders will win. And I think it's Haku that wins. I think they injure him, and then Haku gets the pin, and the Islanders win. And it was just fun. It was rubbish. It says here it went 14 minutes, but I think 14 minutes with the massive gap in the middle. But yeah, it weren't that great. So overall, I think I gave that Rumble a 7 out of 10. The first 2 matches kind of bumped that up. And then you've got the Royal Rumble, which is alright. It's not too bad. And then we've got the last match, which kind of ruins it a bit, because I would have, if the Rumble had been a bit better and that match had been a bit better, it might have been an 8 out of 10, but it just kind of ruins it. But yeah, and that's Royal Rumble 1988 done and dusted and in the bag. So yeah, next up will be 1989, which is where it bumps it up. I think it's a 30-man rumble. I'm pretty sure it's a 30-man rumble, and it's got a bit more pomp and circumstance about it. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see more of this, then please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that lovely stuff. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, or have a good night. And I'll see you guys next time. See you later. Bye-bye.